Hero. Yo, check it. Winter in Michigan. Started writing my letter to Santa, but never finished it. Inclement weather shall bring us closer together. Put the tree up in November. Seems we've been waiting forever. I can hardly wait. I count the days in the ugliest sweaters. Back then it was pajamas. The spirit never abandoned. No matter the number, count every blessing. It's evident. Joy to the world and peace is the only present thing. Follow me. I can't.
Yo.
Hey man, hey man, they gonna get tired of me dancing coming in. I'm telling you. Hey man, they gonna get tired of me. They
What's up? Welcome to Third Key Podcast, episode 3. We made it.
Man, we made it 3. We made it 3, man. This is the last one for the year, man. You know, I'm gonna do the classic. You know who it is. Hey man, you know who it is. It's your boy Chris, right? Chris McCloud, and one of my best friends. I don't know if we want to call him Aaron. Oh, he got his name on his tag. So I ain't Aaron. And my boy Aaron, I know if he wanted his government. My boy Aaron, aka Young Rudolph, man, aka Young Blitzen, man. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays, man. The New Year's, all that good stuff. Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, man. You know I got to throw it in there for my peoples.
Yep.
But we got a nice show today.
Check it out.
We're gonna be talking. Yeah, man. We're gonna be talking about the gift that keeps on giving, man. Cyberpunk, man. You already know. You know what it is with Cyberpunk. We're gonna be talking about Soul and Wonder Woman 84 and our, you know, how we felt about those films. And they're gonna be talking about 2020, man. We all know 2020 has been hard for people. But we're gonna talk about it and try to get some positivity, man. The year in review.
Yeah.
So
see what we liked about
Aaron,
2020.
Yeah, man. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. That optimism, man. So, Aaron, man, anything that's been burning your soul, man. Anything you got going on? What you into right now, man?
Not too much going on. Had a good Christmas. Got to see the parents, just the parents and the brother. Got some fun stuff. Got to give a lot of good gifts. So yeah, I had a good time. I don't know. How was your last week? Of
it's been
holidays.
cool, man. Yeah, man, it's been cool. You know, my daughter kicked me out in an hour this time instead of 40 minutes. You know what I'm saying? You know, usually on Christmas it's about 30 to 40 minutes. She kicks me out. You know, she's gonna play with the toys. She kicked me out in an hour this time because she ended up getting the Xbox Series X, a PlayStation 5. Okay.
Ooh.
And she has her Switch. So yeah, bro, my 6-year-old got more PlayStation 5s than y'all. Like, y'all should feel some type of way about that. Shout out to her mom. Shout out to her mom for putting in the work. Her mom definitely came through on her Santa tip this year. And shout out to all the parents who went out there and made it happen for the kids, man. I know this year has been difficult. So shout out to all the parents who made it happen, stood out there in those 6-hour lines to get that PlayStation 5 and that Xbox for your kids, man. Made it happen.
You got the internet connection, had the refresh bots going, trying to get one PlayStation.
Man, going crazy trying to get the PlayStation, man. Crazy.
Yeah. So I guess before we really get into things, just wanted to throw some quick stuff out there. I guess it's been a couple weeks since we did our last episode. You know, holidays, hard to schedule stuff, but I did we talked about Back 4 Blood a lot. I got into that alpha, played through it. It's pretty cool. They got
Alpha boy, Alpha man.
Yeah, open one weekend. It was very much an alpha. It was not. No good menus. The menu stuff didn't make sense. There was no ending to the level. It just ended abruptly. But it was interesting. I did like kind of more modernized gunplay because Left 4 Dead's pretty old now, and got an interesting card system where the AI director that kind of throws things at you intelligently, which they had that in Left 4 Dead as well. But they added a card system to it, so the AI director will lay out cards and say, maybe I'm going to hit you with some more of these this time, or you're going to face these different kinds of challenges, and then you get to pick your own cards every round. and give yourself little buffs for your character. Like maybe you heal somebody faster, or maybe you can get damage bonuses and stuff for chaining kills together and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. It kind of changes things up because it looks like it's going to have set levels again that aren't really randomized too much. You're running through the same big giant level. So more stuff for variety is good. Sephiroth came out since the last time we had this on in Smash, and I've been playing I do play a lot of Smash online still. I do enjoy it. And he's good. The sword is good. I like him. He kind of plays like my kind of character. He's a little bad up close, but keep people at bay and get some gimps with him, and he's pretty nasty.
All right. So for those who don't know, like I've continued to say, Aaron, I'm gonna give my dog his roses because he needs them. Everybody needs their roses. The FGC community does not exist in Michigan without this man. Okay, it does not exist. I don't care what anybody says because I watched him carry it on his back. I watched him do it personally. Okay, so it's always good to hear Aaron talk about fighting games because it lets me know that you clowns and your ignorance and your buffoonery. I'm pulling up my TI dictionary. Did not take away this man's joy for fighting games, even though it probably should have, because you guys were clowns and made it incredibly difficult to continue along that journey. So much respect to this man right here. Continue, Aaron. Much respect to you, though, man. Much respect.
Well, yeah, I did. I have always liked Smash, and I did start bringing that into the events I was helping run as well, because this has been my first love of fighting games forever. So Ultimate's always been great. This is another great character addition, and we're only 3 characters into the second season pass, so out of 6. I thought we were at like 5 or something. I thought there was like 1 character left, but I guess we've only had 3. Minecraft Steve and Min. But so
man, that reach, that reach is barbaric, man.
That if you got an extra stock too,
that's just a barbaric reach, man.
Oh man, it's nasty, and a big thing he has too is his down smash as a shield breaker, and there's lots of stuff like these balls that are around you that you can set up, such that it'll probably force them to shield, and if you catch them shielding, you can just break their shield immediately, and then they're dead. At any percent, you can kill them easy.
Man, he's getting nerfed, man.
I hope not. I don't think he's overpowered, but I do feel like they might.
He has to get nerfed.
They might get mad at it. They go off of kind of the online reception and how many wins he's getting online, and if people are complaining too much, and then they'll do nerfs usually. But so we'll see. I hope not. But they haven't been doing too many balance updates lately. They've kind of been leaving it how it is because it's in a pretty decent state right now. And yeah, this right here, this nuke that he can do, it's just it'll just kill you at any percentage. But, the other thing they got, I don't know if you ever played. I was trying to find people who knew. What? You guys, anything more on Smush? So I was gonna move on to similar fighting games.
Hold on. I was just looking at the vid. No. Do you think, bro? I was just looking at what was going on screen, and I was about to just ask, like, is that like his version of like the Falcon Punch or something? It's just like some ridiculously brutal.
He charged up a Giga Flare. I think it was. It takes a long time. Yeah. Well, yeah. So Sephiroth's great. Sephiroth's been fun. The other thing that surprise got announced at apparently the game Dungeon Fighter Online is still around. I don't know if you ever played it like 10 plus years ago on computer, but it was an MMO. It's a fighting game MMO. It's not a fighting game MMO. It's more like a brawler MMO where it's side scrolling and you can walk up and down. You can chain all these attacks and stuff. Well, 10 plus years later, it's still around, and people who make Guilty Gear are making a fighting game, a proper fighting game for it with a lot of the different character classes and stuff and moves. And it says it's being assisted by Aiding, which are the people who made Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is interesting. So we'll see how that plays out. But that was a fun little tidbit announcement this past week in the realm of fighting games.
No, because I remember like you would show me that. You would show me that. I think maybe it was when we were doing like some of the entry level episodes. You had brought that up that they were supposed to be doing that, or was that another fighting game? I was trying to remember. I was looking at that video. I was like, "Did Aaron show me this?" Because I remember you showed me a fighting game
It
that
could
you
have
were
been like
super hyped for.
Grand Blue. I don't know. What was I hyped for? I don't remember. I haven't been hyped for too much other than Smash lately, but but you're right. I feel like I did
Because
see
you,
something.
sir, yeah, man. I remember. Like, I feel like you did. But you know what? Okay, we'll revisit. We'll revisit. I wanted to let my boy Aaron get his ish off because that's my guy. And y'all need to understand the level of respect I have for this man. Like, I'm serious. I have a lot of respect for this guy. So,
Well, I got one more,
get
which I think that you've seen as well, real quick. But
I
thought that
wait
this.
a minute. Wait a minute. What you got?
I thought that this
Super
looked great.
Nintendo World.
I thought Super Nintendo World looks cool. I really like this little video that they did with Shigeru Miyamoto. I like that he got to show, you know, the theme park. He got to debut the theme park that is made after his creation. His characters from the 80s. It's crazy. He's living in it now. There's a part in here where he meets Mario and Luigi and he says, "All right, Dad has to go work now." I'm like, yeah, it's your sons. I mean, these characters walking around this this park. So, man, this thing is bad at seeking. But yeah, you can get a little wristband on there. You can punch all the blocks and you can kind of gain a bunch of points in the app that they have on there. So there's a bunch of little challenges you can do around the park. And they didn't show a lot of the rides just out of wanting to keep them a secret or whatever. But they're gonna have a Mario Kart ride with AR goggles, like the Microsoft HoloLens, where two little screen bubbles go over your eyeballs on a helmet that you wear on the ride, and it's got AR stuff in it. So
as if Microsoft needs to make more money.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know who made the tech, but it's probably probably the leaders in, you know, AR. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. But that's.
Did I ever tell you about the time I saw a guy walking around my job with the AR goggles? Like when we were introducing. For people that don't know, I work for Ford, right? Guys walking around the floor with the Microsoft HoloLens goggles, like taking apart the truck, like on the floor. Like, so he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna put this here. We're gonna put this here." It is so cool, man. It is so cool. AR is so cool.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they're already kind of implementing it. I guess it's not that surprising. Theme parks always push tech to have the coolest new rides or whatever, but it does seem like a technology that's still developing a bit. It still costs a lot of money to get those headsets, but
hey man, look, man, got to take your children's money, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well,
man. We need that money.
Yeah, that's kind of the other stuff, you know, that got announced quickly just to run through. Don't have too much to say about it other than I'm excited. You know, the one in Orlando would have been open by now, if not for the pandemic. This opens in February, which still seems kind of early, but I think they got things under control a little bit more in Japan. So that'll be cool to see this come to America. And now all the rumors are, you know, replacing some of the Universal has some weird lands that aren't like themed after anything. They're like, this is just themed after Greek gods and stuff, you know, like Adventure Island or whatever. And they're already looking at that kind of stuff and figuring how to retrofit it into Zelda rides, apparently. So I hope Zelda's next. All my childhood dreams.
Man, yeah, I think that is a HoloLens. I think you're right. I think that is a HoloLens.
Oh yeah,
that definitely looks like a HoloLens.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah. So that'll be a cool ride, I think. Cool park. I think it looks great. Looks a little bit better than I even expected, honestly. So
yeah, it's small.
Hype about that.
Look, man. Okay. Hey man. Hey Aaron. Hey, look, man, you done talking to the people? I gotta ask, you know. I know if you done.
I am I think with that, I'm done. We can get it. Well, unless you got anything else too.
Okay. Aaron's no, I'm good. I ain't got nothing, baby. It's your world. Okay. It's your world. So I wanted to make sure that we touched on the gift that kept on giving, you know, the dysfunction of Cyberpunk. I've been playing Cyberpunk, been playing the hell out of it actually.
What do you
I
what are
had
you
that
playing it
15
on
gigabyte
again?
update. So well, I was playing it on Series X. You know, I don't play first person shooters on PlayStation, bro. It's just a thing. I know I'll get my head tore off. I guess I get it. I can't do the dual analog thing with a first person shooter. It just feels weird. I can't do it. Like, so I don't know if I'm in the minority. I can't do it. That's just me. But I've been playing it. I had my first crash yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So I've been playing for like 20 hours. I had my first crash.
On
Yes.
Series X.
It's like a, you know, yeah, I had my first crash. I was pulling out a sniper rifle to shoot a guy across the room. The game froze and crashed.
Damn.
Luckily, the autosave is really good. And it just autosaved me right there. Like before I pulled it out.
That's good. To make sure you're I don't know how to prevent it, but I heard that the latest thing now is if your save file gets over 8 megabytes, it might corrupt itself. So look out for that too, I guess. But you probably have to play it a ton or something. But I think that's a lot of people who are playing it a ton. Their save files are starting to get to be that size, and now they're starting to have problems apparently. So
yeah, man, it can get ugly out here.
Yeah,
and if mine corrupts, I'm just uninstalling it personally.
Try it again in
like
a year.
I just won't come back.
Game of the Year edition with the DLC packed in and
the Game of the Year edition.
You know they're gonna have they released Witcher 3 like what 2-3 times.
But that deserved it. This better not get a Game of the Year edition. They better just go ahead and fix it and just go all quietly to the sunset.
Well,
so
yeah, I mean, so the big news is you know, the PSN took it down.
Yeah.
Lawsuit just got filed against them from investors.
Yeah.
And there is a little bit more to it that I think a lot of people don't realize as far as the mechanics of it that I read into a lot. There was this VentureBeat article that I think kind of explained probably why Sony did what they did and why that was kind of unprecedented, because that doesn't. I think this is the first time a major AAA game I think has just been removed for being too buggy. I mean, there's buggy games and they come out all the time, but like it was too much on PS4 and Xbox One.
Okay, but hold on. I want to put a caveat in this. Sony was not the marketing partner for this game. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft was the marketing partner for this game. So,
it's probably the only reason why Microsoft didn't do the same thing, though.
Exactly. Do we believe that if Sony was the marketing partner for this game, that they would have removed it from PSN?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
I just want to make
Sony
sure
to be that righteous.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're being honest, because I know why Microsoft didn't remove it, because the marketing partner for the game. Right. So even though it's unplayable on Xbox One, they're not gonna remove it. You know what I mean? Like, so everybody, make sure you follow the money. Like when we get into conversations about anti-consumerism and who cares and who doesn't, a lot of these companies make decisions based upon where the money's going. Make sure you guys remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, always remember that. Continue, Aaron.
Well, something that I didn't realize, but I guess makes a lot of sense, is that, like, you know, these games have to be certified to be released on these platforms, onto Xbox Live, onto PSN, you know, to print them and put them in stores. And a lot of these games these days, especially the AAA ones, during the certification process, don't truly pass certification, but they say they get a bypass, and they get a pass because of how big they are probably. And it says, oh, we're going to fix these by, you know, day one patch or whatever. It'll be fixed by the time the game comes out. And that wasn't true. So right there, like, they released an uncertifiable product onto both of those stores. And then the second thing, which is like, I don't know, that's like a strike one. It's a pretty big strike.
Okay,
though.
so let's hold up. To talk to the people, you know, because I like to make sure that we educate. The whole point of me and Aaron doing this is to make sure that, you know, obviously we share our thoughts, but we also educate, right? We want to educate. That means that Sony and Microsoft, and let's say Microsoft specifically because they're the marketing partner, right? You see this shirt on my chest, right? Microsoft specifically, okay? They were both complicit in releasing a broken game to you. So they're just as much to blame as the person that made the game because they did not follow their own certification processes. And when I say Microsoft specifically, because they're the marketing partner for this game, right? So I'm going to put a little bit more weight on their shoulder because, hey, you paid to market this thing. Why did you not care more than anyone else that it was not certifiable for your system? Continuing.
So, I mean, strike one for Sony at least. Although, really, I feel like it was only 2 strikes and you're out on this one because the second thing that they did was all that refund stuff. They didn't talk to Sony or Microsoft about that. So they said, "Hey guys, we're gonna be great. We're really sorry. If you bought the game on disc, you can contact us, and we'll help you get a refund." Or you can return it to us and we'll get you a refund for your disc purchase. If you purchased it digitally, we can't really help that. So just contact Sony or Microsoft for a refund. And then Sony and Microsoft are like, well, we don't give refunds to games you just bought for no reason. I mean, there's a reason, but it's not a reason that they have in their terms because there's not usually uncertifiable games on their platforms. So then they just put the burden of refunds on Sony and made Sony and Microsoft share the responsibility in this fiasco. And then, you know, Sony all of a sudden starts getting millions of requests for refunds through their digital service for a game that they wouldn't normally refund. And they were like, no, absolutely not. You're not bringing us down with you. We're taking this off the store. So I really think that that's kind of what led to that decision because they were, you know, if you read all the little press releases they were putting out, they were trying to, it sounded like they worked something out and there was going to be a refund program.
Screens, man.
Yep.
The yellow screens.
Yep. Them all yellow giant text boxes.
I think they sold like what, 13 million copies?
I don't know, but I wouldn't put it past it.
It was no, I think that was the number. It was some insane like 13 million copies. Like it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was technically on all the major platforms. So, you know, I think that's a big part of things and why it got taken down. And now and then I think that the lawsuit kind of further affirms it because then that also came out where the investors are like, you told us explicitly in these meetings, you know, 1 or 2 months ago, it runs fine on Xbox One, it runs fine on PS4, the optimizations are in place, it's fine. And that was a lie. And then you put out a game that has tons of negative PR, you're giving refunds for these versions of the game everywhere. It's not performing I mean, it still probably made a lot of money, but it's not performing how they expected to because they said all this, jazzed people up, and they bought more stock. My buddy bought CD Projekt Red stock actually a month or 2 ago, thinking obviously it's just going to go up when the game comes out. But they fooled investors into thinking that it was more ready to release than it was. So
no, I'm not a stock expert. I'm not a stock expert. But I've always tried to get educated on this type of stuff. I've always thought the stock prices go up and down based upon projections. Not necessarily performance,
right?
But projections. Like what is projected to happen will make a stock price go up or down versus how it actually performs.
Right.
Because I would always see, and I guess this is kind of us veering off the path. This is what we do. I would always see Apple have like these monster years, right? They have like where they just blow the roof off. on how much money they made. And I'm like, well, why didn't the stock price move? And then, I have a buddy explain it. Well, because it's based on projections. Yeah, that they made a bunch of money, but they were supposed to make more money. Yeah, and because they didn't make more money, the stock price did not go up, even though they made X amount of money in profit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I guess that makes sense, right? So,
well, I mean that's why it got inflated before the game came out. It was projected to do better. They thought it was going to do better.
Right?
And then it came out, and now because of all this, well, the projections are, this must be bad. It's clearly not going to perform like we thought it was going to.
And that's why they lost that $1 billion. That's why they lost $1 billion. All right, because I was like, they sold 13 million copies in like 2 weeks. So that has to exceed expectations. Like, and just to have some type of caveat, right? Sony broke records with Last of Us, right? Last of Us sold 20 million units, I think. Something like 20 million plus, which is crazy to me. But it sold 20 million units. That broke records for Sony. So I'm like, this game sold over half of that in like 2 weeks.
Right.
So even though, yes, it's on more platforms, it still sold only 7 million units less than the most successful game on the most successful console of last generation. Right. So I don't think that they're not exceeding expectations. That's what I'm saying. Like, they have to be exceeding the expectations for what they were going to sell.
And they need that money too. I mean, this is
they're independent,
a publicly traded game development studio. This is their livelihood. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. They said that they are going to vigorously fight back in the lawsuit, which I also feel like is a rather hostile take on your investors, but like, and I think that I don't know how you're going to fight the claims that they put up against you already, because they seem, but I don't know. I also feel like stock antitrust stuff just doesn't usually play out that bad. Like Elon Musk should have gotten sued to hell and back like a bunch of times because he would say stuff on Twitter, and then they'd be like, "You're not allowed to say that because what you just said just totally dramatically changed your stock price." But I feel like nothing really ever came of it. So we'll see. I think they probably will end up fighting it, but I don't know. Faster they fix the game, the better for them.
I think CD Projekt Red will be getting bought in the next 2 to 3 years.
I mean, if that stock price dips low enough, you never know if Microsoft might creep around the corner with the checkbook.
I mean, you got them, you got Google, you got Amazon, you got a bunch of like the major guys that are like looking for a developer the size and the quality of them. But the reason I think they're going to get bought is because this is their first time releasing a game with this proportion of expectations. And what I mean by that is the amount of money that gets funneled into your game, right? So, and I was talking about this with Richard last night, where I was just like, look, man, they've never had to make a game where they had a bunch of investors sinking. Let's say if Halo Infinite is going to cost Microsoft over $500 million, right? Let's say, what you think Cyberpunk costs? 300? It's $350 million
at least
to make this game.
It was in development for so long. That's
so let's say
more and more money every year.
So let's throw out a ballpark figure and say $300 million, right? If 500 million is the record, that's, apparently Microsoft broke the record for development costs in the game, $500 million, right? If that's the record, 300 million ain't nothing to sniff at. It's nothing to laugh at. So I doubt that they were prepared for the amount of pressure that comes with that amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty unprecedented as far as the position that they're in.
Exactly.
Maybe there's somebody else, but I can't think of anyone else who has that.
There's nobody else.
That was
because
the most AAA of AAA pressure on a developer who isn't beholden to some massive mega publisher.
big publisher. Yes. Yes. I think they're the first guys to get this type of money to not have a publisher.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think, and this is what smart people do. This is why I think they're going to get bought. Smart people know what they don't know, right? And they know how to correct mistakes. You're not going to be able to get, based on what's happening right now, losing $1 billion on your stock in the first week. First week, you lost $1 billion in your stock price. I can't see investors
Is that true? What is
coming back to the like I was like, bro, $1 billion? Like they had $1 billion loss? and I guess my point is saying I can't see investors coming back for more without some sort of guarantee that they're gonna get, a truly responsible and a truly managed release. And the only way to really do that, which is why I think, guys are licking their chops, your Googles, your Amazons, your Microsoft, the people that actually have the money to buy them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this ain't nothing against Sony, but Sony can't make a purchase like this. Not for gaming. They just, they can't. Like they just made a $1.2 billion purchase for Crunchyroll because Sony Pictures, that's Sony Pictures, right? That's their video division. That's that stuff over there. So
honestly,
you really only talk.
I wonder what they're worth. Honestly, I wonder what their actual total valuation is because it might be way more than Crunchyroll. Video games.
Well, yeah,
business.
You would think. Yes, and you would think because you got to base it on the projections and how much they can make and blah 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 blah. Like remember when Minecraft got bought? People looked at that number and was like, "How much did they pay? Like $4 billion for Minecraft?"
A lot, and it
was like
they made it back. In
a
couple years or something.
Oh, bro, get out of here! Like Minecraft, hand over fist, is still making money today, right now, as we're speaking. Minecraft is raking in money. Like, but I guess my point really is, I think they're going to get bought because that would be the intelligent thing to do. They have to make sure that they have a safety net when we're talking about these type of ballpark figures. $300, $400 million, because I think this game had to be at least $300 million. Like, I think it's just too much for an indie, man. Even though they're publicly traded, it's too much, man. And you see what happened, and you see the pressure, and you saw how they were crunching, and you saw how the game and how they lied, and how they had to, kind of do what they had to do with the PR to make it happen. It's too much, man. It's too much.
Some of the other stuff I was reading in there too, they only sent out PC copies for anyone to review. You weren't allowed to talk. When those first reviews came out, you weren't allowed to show any footage other than the B-roll footage or whatever, because they didn't want anyone sharing any glitches or bugs or anything for 2 days. So they waited for that Metacritic score, and then they said, okay, you can show the game now. And they said that they were going to have console release copies, and then they just didn't. They said, everyone sign up. Okay, cool. And then they just only sent it out to the PC people. They're like, well, if you want to sign up for PC, we can get you the PC one, but the console copies are still coming. They just didn't let journalists check it out ahead of time. They just didn't show it, and they just released it, which is pretty crazy. Like they had to have known it was terrible.
It was unethical. It was completely unethical. So it kind of brings my point more full circle. I think they need to be bought. I think they should want to be bought, and they should want to have. This is where that corporate overlord that everybody hates comes into play. Okay? Corporate entities are not all evil. They're not all here to ruin your life. Sometimes they make the best decision based on the money. The money has to come into play here sometimes. Halo Infinite got postponed because they could be postponed. Because Microsoft doesn't need the money.
Yeah, and that's the thing with them. It's like, what if this were to tank? I feel like that would tank the whole company.
Yes, $500 million. Whatever.
Can you like can they
Yeah,
really
go ahead,
can they
man.
keep subsisting off of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt? I don't know.
Exactly. Aaron gets my point.
That's it.
They could not delay Cyberpunk because the money they needed it.
Mhm.
But when you got that corporate overlord, you go work for Amazon and you say, "Hey man, this thing ain't ready." Jeff Bezos spent $500 million yesterday on that mountain he bought. He's like, "Oh, it's fine, bro. Put it back in the oven. Come holler at me when it's done."
He could personally bankroll CD Projekt Red for years.
Exactly. So they need to get bought. If they want to sustain this AAA game lifestyle, they just need to get bought, man. And that's the end of it. This proves it. They do not deserve to operate independently because they can't be trusted with your money.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
And they really blew it on this one. They've had to have just known that this was going to be. In retrospect, they just could not have not known that this was going to happen. Yeah, they were at $31 a share on Friday, December 4th, and they just closed today at $18.55 a share. So that is
Good
significant.
God.
That is like, what, 30-40% down?
God.
So,
Hey, I might right now.
yeah. So, yeah, that's bad. It's going to be crazy. And you know what? Maybe, too, that lawsuit will start costing them money. Maybe somebody will come to the rescue for that, too.
Man, that's what I'm saying. I think somebody going to buy it and just say, "Look, man, we'll cover the tab. Don't worry about it. We need that engine, though. We need that red engine. We need it. Come up off that."
Well, also, they might be like, "And do you need some help? Because what is the deal? What's taking so long?" But,
because I'm still getting glitches, bro. I'm still getting texture pop in. I'm still getting cars off in the distance. Like, it's this weird thing where you'll see like a million cars off in the distance, and as you drive towards the area where all these cars are, there's no cars.
Did you ever get any of the flying cars? I feel like there's weird physics stuff that can happen, and it could be happening off screen, and then a car could just launch over a building.
Weird stupid stuff. Keanu Reeves is just standing up straight, and then he sinks in the ground.
Oh yeah, it's just not gonna be polished until spring at least.
Characters talking, lips don't move.
I've seen a lot of that where they become like desynced with what they're doing and saying. Ugh.
You go to start a mission, and a character doesn't walk through the door; they just stand in the doorway, leaning up against it. So you can't talk to the NPC to start the mission. I don't know, man. Stuff.
Yeah.
You know what, man? And it's funny we're talking about this. And Eric, man, the picture of Eric in the corner. Eric would have loved this game, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Eric would have loved this game.
This is what a lot of people dreamed of, and that's why the hype is so big for it. It's just game just isn't done yet, but
something else stupid. For my TV people out there, and Richard put me up on this. I can't even say I made this up. Richard put me up on this. The HDR settings on Cyberpunk are broken. So normally you want to have your HDR effect somewhere in the range of like 1,000 nit.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take mine to 3,000 nit to get it to show any HDR effects in the game. So it looks completely different now. Once I put it on like 3,000, now it looks like, oh man, I can see it.
Yeah, which usually makes everything like washed out,
overexposed,
really bright. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Once you put it like 3,000, you see it. So something else is stupid, Aaron. I can show it to you though, Aaron. If you ever want to swing by, I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so stupid.
Well, I think that's probably all there is to say on that. Beating a real dead horse on that one.
Everybody's on purpose.
Everybody's
was
heard
that the
about
point? Why are we just piling on?
I think we were explaining a little bit more, other than outrage at glitches. There was a bit more to how truly terrible that launch was. But
okay,
so
all right. We'll beat another dead horse, Aaron. So to transition, right, away from Cyberpunk to another dead horse about to beat on. we had some major film. Oh, see, hey, y'all see, you changed the thing at the bottom already. We had 2 huge films come out over the holidays. And when I say, I say huge because these would have been box office smashes. Both of these films would have been box office smashes. Everybody, we all know this.
Mm-hmm.
If Pixar puts out a movie, y'all going to see it. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all gonna pay. And superhero films break the bank. So we had Disney Soul, starring Jamie Foxx. Okay. And we had Wonder Woman starring. Wait a minute, what's her name? Gal? Is it Gal Zagat?
I think it's Gal Gadot. I thought.
Gadot.
I think it's Gadot.
Gadot. All right, whatever. I'll let y'all correct us in the comments.
Gal.
And we had Wonder Woman 84 starring Gal G, because last name I'm gonna butcher it.
Yeah,
and
which had some expectations coming into it because
both of them they were exclusive.
Well, and I have low expectations of DC movies, but Wonder Woman, the first one, was pretty widely well received especially for a DC movie. So it had kind of some higher expectations.
Now hold on, man. Look, Wonder Woman, the first one, was Captain America. It was like the same film. It was literally
that's a step. Film. That's a step up for a lot of DC movies.
It was the same film.
So, but yeah, which one do you want to start with?
Okay, look. I'll kick this off, and then I'll just throw it to Aaron, and I'll let him get his ish off because that's what I like. I like to see Aaron get his ish off. So, Wonder Woman 84. Let's start there. Aaron, I want your impressions of everything, and when I say everything, the release, the importance of it being on HBO Max, like all that type of stuff. So give me the rundown. How you feel about Wonder Woman 84?
I do think it would have done better in theaters. It would have performed well, but I don't know. I did not have it was fine, but it did not meet my expectations. I thought it was kind of weird. Thought there was a lot of weird stuff about it. I just don't think it was a great movie as far as being a movie and having good pacing and the cohesive plot. I feel like it failed at a lot of that. Some people were pointing out CG and stuff wasn't too great. I didn't notice. I didn't have many big issues with that. They were like the cheetah scene was it looked like whatever. But I'm like most people CG of a cat woman jumping all over the place and doing crazy stuff probably wouldn't look very realistic. But I mean, my biggest issues with it were the Wonder Woman and the main villain they weren't actually part of the same plot. It was a story about Wonder Woman and Cheetah and Pedro Pascal. I can't remember the character's name, but his whole story and plot was totally separate from Wonder Woman. Like they cross paths a couple times, but really he's a guy who's trying to make a lot of money. He hears about this wishing stone, which I don't know if was based off of anything in a comic or not. And if it's not, that's kind of weird because that's kind of lame. If they really invented, they wrote a whole movie around a wishing stone that they just came up with themselves. It's kind of weird, but he finds out about it and then tries to get it and then becomes the stone, and they kind of make their own rules about what that means. And then at the very end of the movie, Wonder Woman comes in and lassos his ankle and gets him to change his ways. But I'm like, she could have just not been in the whole movie. It could have just been a movie about him, and then Wonder Woman shows up at the very last second and lassos his leg, and then it's the same movie. You didn't need, and then the Wonder Woman and Cheetah stuff was like kind of it felt like it was there was less focus on that than there was Pedro Pascal's character. Like the Pedro Pascal movie is better than the Wonder Woman Cheetah movie that was kind of going on at the same time. She was playing, and I saw this too. As soon as I saw Kristen Wiig's character, I was like, she looks like Jamie Foxx in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. She's the nerd, wears the glasses, is geek, is like the classic Hollywood geek. I'm like, come on. What? So I was like, I already get what this is. She's gonna be jealous of Wonder Woman and you know, turn bad, which
I ain't going back. I ain't going back.
So like that all seemed pretty shallow.
I ain't going back. Bro, I started laughing, man, when she was like, I ain't going back.
Like,
you remember Dexter when my man caught him? Was like, surprise, mother, you know.
Yeah.
You remember Dexter? Remember that scene? That's how I felt when I seen her. Like, I was just like, that was overacted, man. Like, I ain't going back.
It's because she was playing the typical Hollywood geek. I don't know. You know, that's something that they would do, but ugh. And you know what? And then when they get their come up too, when they get their powers, all of a sudden they don't wear glasses no more, and they get their hair done and everything. So you know, forget geeks, forget nerds.
Okay. Well, the glasses make sense, right? Because you get the enhanced physical abilities, which fix your eyesight. Okay, so I'll take the glasses, but you're right about like the
fashion,
the new style. Like now, all of a sudden, you can pick a dress.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, you can walk in heels.
Yeah.
Right, because of your athleticism. Even though you know I've seen women, you know, who aren't necessarily the most athletic, you know, have killer walks in heels. So I don't understand why she couldn't walk in heels. You know, and shout out to my ladies that can walk in heels. You know, I'm a connoisseur. I'm a big fan. Okay, but
yeah, so
just it had literally the worst story I've ever seen, Aaron.
And I think that my biggest gripe was, and it was weird, was Chris Pine's character comes back. She wishes for him, and it clearly has a cost, which it doesn't seem like she really acknowledges or cares. Wonder Woman. He takes over an innocent man's soul and appears to her to be her old dead boyfriend. And by all intents and purposes, it is him using this man's body. She sleeps with him. Kind of weird. So another guy's body that doesn't know this is happening. And then
this gentleman,
yeah,
with her Amazonian strength.
Yeah. You know, and then when it comes time to be like, obviously this can't go on, and you're gonna have to, you know, rescind this wish or whatever it was, and she had like a problem with it. Like she couldn't see that. Like, oh yeah, I guess I should have to give this innocent man's body back. I guess maybe I can live without my old boyfriend. And I just thought that was like a shameful thing. Like she should have been explaining to her boyfriend, like, we can't do this anymore. But it was like all the way around. She was like weak. She was like weak.
So the feminist in me, see, I see what you're getting at. So let me go ahead and put the bow on this, right? So the feminist in me says, why is he even necessary in the film in the first place? That's number one.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, why does arguably the second or third strongest DC superhero in existence, all right, and for my comic book people, you know, we can go back and forth on this, but I know Wonder Woman could kill Superman. She technically could kill him. Okay. So why does the person that is second or third on the list as far as strongest heroes need him at all?
Yeah.
Just for her psychological strength or evaluation, so she's not strong enough without this guy?
Right. Like, how many years has it been? You couldn't you're like one of the most beautiful women in the world and couldn't find another nice guy?
She's a demigod, has literally lived for hundreds of years. So walked into the relationship, and this is what I'm getting at with this. This is where Hollywood, this is why DC, y'all don't get it. Okay. She walks into the relationship knowing I'm going to outlive this person I'm dating. Like literally, it's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna get old. Okay. I'm half God. All right. And still cries about it anyway, even though her intelligence level matches Bruce Wayne's.
Right.
So a person who's supposed to be meticulous in thought, supposed to be on another level as far as their intelligence and how they solve problems and how they approach issues, right? Can match Bruce Wayne's intelligence in DC's cinematic universe. Because her and Bruce talking, she comes off as smart as him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did pretty much set that up.
Yeah.
In Justice League.
She can't see this.
Right.
This is poor writing, man. This is what poor writing looks like, ladies and gentlemen. This is what shoehorned Hollywood tropes look like, ladies and gentlemen. This is why. And there was a quote that came out from Warner Brothers, and I really hope you look this up, Aaron, where they talked about certain films coming to HBO Max because they're riskier, right, than other movies. And the two movies that they brought up in particular were Batgirl and Static Shock. Now, I know what riskier means because, I have a brain. All right. You see shoehorned Hollywood tropes in a film where the lead character is as strong, if not stronger, than Superman in DC's cinematic universe because she has magic weapons. Superman doesn't. She can do everything Superman can do, except she got magic weapons. And everybody should know what Superman's weaknesses are, right? So she could kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So how is she projected as this strong and this smart, but still need a man? Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
All you had to do was just write that one scene, because even if it came to be, she wished him back, he came back. Sure, fine. It's fun. It was fun to see him be in the 80s and stuff, even though there wasn't that much 80s stuff in the movie. But
we'll get back to that.
Yeah, when it came time to realize what needs to happen, why was she whining about it? I don't know. Like, I guess that would be a normal human thing to do, but she's Wonder Woman. Come on.
Yeah. First off, she's a half god. Okay, and it should have been the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been the one trying to hold on to dear life.
Right. He's the one that died young.
Exactly.
in the war.
She should have been the one saying, no, this needs to happen. You're not really Steve. This isn't real. If anything, y'all could have made Steve the villain. Then it would have made more sense. If anything, Steve should have wanted the Wish Stone or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But, Wonder Woman 84, Aaron was being nice, was dreadful. It was god awful. It was one of the worst written stories I've ever seen. It did Wonder Woman no justice at all. It made her look weak. It made her look like she needed a dude who she knew was gonna die at not even half her age. She will outlive pretty much everybody, and she knows that. Okay, and it makes it look like she's not Amazonian. Like she completely gave up on her Amazonian roots.
Yeah. They
Which
seem
is
to really
also
kind of
the
like pick and choose between when she's going to be Amazonian or not. It seems it's weird.
Also, where did she get that armor from?
I didn't catch that. I don't know if I missed it or something.
She just popped up with it.
My buddy was trying to tell me that she was hiding it in a closet, and I was like, "That's what you were going with." It was just
go get it. Is what I'm saying. Like, all right, Aaron, like, it's always the scene where the hero goes to the place where the thing he wants is, and then they take a shot of the thing he's about to put on. This is classic movie stuff, bro. Like, they've been doing this since forever, right? So Aaron's about to go save the day. He's like, well, I need that weapon that will give me the advantage. And then he goes to the place where it is, and we see a one shot of the weapon. Then it transitions from the weapon to the place where he's about to show up, and we know, oh, Aaron's coming with the thing. Like, we know that he's coming with the thing. When did that happen? She went from riding lightning with her lasso to popping up with the golden armor.
And I was just like, oh, we're here now. All right. Act 3. The fight's about to go down right now. All right. Okay. I guess. I don't know why, but I guess it's time for this fight to happen. So she's got the armor now. I was like, that whole thing too, I was thinking about that and I was like, why didn't you put the cameo in the credits? Why wasn't that part of the movie? Why didn't she go to some spiritual realm or something and meet her and get the armor bestowed upon her for some, reason? And then you get to put the cameo in the movie. Instead of like, it was one of the most talked about things after the movie came out, and it's a credit scene. You could have just made her a part of the movie. And then maybe explained how she got the armor a little better as well, but
terrible. It was god awful, bro. I don't even use the word dreadful, man. Like, it's so bad. Let me think another issue I had. When she effectively shocked Cheetah with the electricity, right? But she was unaffected, and guess obviously you would say because she's Zeus's daughter, electricity cannot phase her, right?
But she had already also lost like half of her powers to Cheetah at the time.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Why didn't she?
And then Cheetah, her wish was to be like Diana. So why did she gain the super strength and gain the speed, but didn't gain any of her what's the word I'm looking for her resistances to certain elements?
I don't know. I think that they would explain it. I think that she technically shoved in a last minute wish to be her own thing, and that's when she became Cheetah.
Oh, that's what it was.
So then you could say that means that she loses some powers too. I don't.
I got it. Okay, no, that makes sense. So when she said, "I don't want to be like Diana anymore. I want to be my own thing, an apex predator." So I was like,
yes,
"Why
that
didn't
was
they
the
just
line, the apex predator?
Why didn't they just turn her into just a real animal then?" I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, whatever, man. It was
all
one
that
of the
for
worst.
the most basic character. I think Kristen Wiig did her best, but she was told to be a typical Hollywood geek nerd character who gets angry and then gains powers, and did about as good a job as she could have done, I think. So.
No, look, literally one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's just such a disappointment to me too. If it was if I didn't have expectations because of the first movie, I would have been like, DC made another DC movie. I'm not surprised, but they had a lot riding on this one, I think. But
it was terrible, and they already announced the third one.
Yeah, which I mean, hopefully they just go into the future, whatever, present day, and I don't know what you're gonna do though. Somebody's got to write something good for her. I know it's hard. These DC superpowered god characters, but I mean,
it's not hard.
Somebody can write this. Get somebody to write this.
Hard. Just have a standard. So the thing that people hate about the Marvel films is the thing that I give Disney credit for. Disney has it's the same thing Shonen does with their animes. They have an expectation and they have a guideline for how their films are just going to be. They don't care how you feel about the depth of the characters and if it's too funny and if it's too many jokes. Look, man, when you walk in to go see a Marvel film, you know exactly what you're going to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The only film where they kind of stepped outside that box was Black Panther. And they did that because they knew, and this is just them reading the pulse of the room. Black people was not having it. They just was not having it. So when they hired Ryan Coogler and they said, "Hey Ryan, man, do what you gonna do," right? And when you saw Forrest, I'm about to curse, man. We about to get demonetized. When you see Forrest Whitaker, he won an Oscar, bro. He took less to do that film. Like, I hope y'all know this, right? Yeah, like when you see he was Angela Bassett, Chadwick Boseman, like they had a all-star cast on the film, man. Okay. Disney pretty much just took the money, gave it to a bunch of black creators and said, "Do what y'all gonna do." We don't want no parts of it. We ain't gonna touch it. Just do what y'all gonna do, so then we cannot be accused of messing up the film.
They were like, just make sure, however you want to do it. So they got to give Sebastian Stan his arm, but that's it. And they were like,
Yeah,
okay,
man.
that'll be in the post-credit scene.
All right, yeah. We'll make it happen. And so that was the only film where Disney did not touch. They didn't put the formula on it, right? But every other film, they got a formula. DC needs a formula. That's all they need, Aaron. Then it won't be hard.
They seem to think that they got it figured out, because they are like, all right, cool. Yep, we got 3 movies a year, and like 3 more movies go straight to streaming every year, starting in 2022 or 23 or something. Let's get it. I'm like, why? You didn't figure it out yet. What? I don't know. I guess they did the same thing with Star Wars. They made Mandalorian, and then they were like, all right, we got it. But they did kind of figure it out with Mandalorian. They got Dave Filoni, but I don't know what DC has. I'm excited for Suicide Squad because it's just a James Gunn movie. So great. He makes good movies. They need to do that more. They need to give movies. Yeah. He made Guardians of the Galaxy. So
I actually agree there. I think that they also need to open up their director portfolio. They need to go ask more people to direct films.
Just Snyder Cut thing is bad.
Better.
Like I think Snyder Cut is bad because I think it means give Snyder more movies, and they need to just go ahead and part ways with him.
I mean, well, isn't he Christopher Nolan's protege?
Yeah, I don't know what all I know is he's an edgelord, and his movies are.
Is that accurate? Isn't he Christopher Nolan's protege?
I don't know. I feel like that there was some kind of affiliation between the two, but I don't know if it's anything more than he loved Christopher Nolan's trilogy and wanted to keep doing that. But I mean, he did Watchmen and stuff, and it's always the really dark, serious.
Now Watchmen
tone.
Watchmen was dope.
I did like Watchmen. I read Watchmen, and it was a pretty faithful adaptation.
It was exactly like the book. It was like maybe 1 or 2 scenes that were different, but it was literally the book.
Mm-hmm.
So Watchmen was dope, and it was long. He did it how it was supposed to be. It was long, and I think that's his other issue, though. Everything he makes is like way too long.
Way too long for superhero movies too. Oh, but yeah, I'm like, but now they finally got the Snyder Cut. Everyone get happy. I still don't think that Justice League is going to be that savable of a movie, but it's going to be 6 episodes. No, it's going to be like a 4 or 5 hour long thing.
It's going to be trash.
And it's just going to be a bunch of really edgy stuff with like cooler action or something and more serious. And it's like, this still isn't what's going to get you guys to the top. Like, and then it's going to come out, and people are going to be excited about it. And then they're going to give them another movie. I hope it's not another Justice League, but we'll see. But yeah, it's like, just start giving out movies to people who can make movies. And hopefully one of them figures out a formula for you that you can then try to follow instead of Zack Snyder. But
they need to be they need to be calling Ryan Coogler right now and saying, Ryan, we need a Cyborg film. And we need you to handle it.
Cyborg could be a good film. Also, I'm sorry, but Static Shock could be Miles Morales for you.
Oh, and this is why I get why it's risky.
Right?
I'm like, risky? Like, because he's black? And he's like really urban? And you don't know how to approach urban?
Like they have the opportunity with the character to do like even better than Miles Morales. Like, I think that Into the Spider-Verse is the best Miles Morales, and it was made for that movie. And I don't think that Static Shock, it's not the most like incredible deep character or whatever, but that you could make him, because of his recognition, you could make him the next Miles Morales if done properly.
He is a better hero. He's more powerful. He's one of the most powerful characters in DC. Like, he has a track record and a longer run of comics than Miles had. Mm-hmm. So you have more data. Like,
And
that's why when I heard it was riskier, I was like, what does that even mean?
You have the recognition too, like the name recognition. Our whole generation knows who Static Shock is, like, because of the cartoons. Like,
it just threw me off. Like, I was like, riskier. What does that mean?
You should be like, we got to figure this out, and they should be throwing money behind it, and they could be the next big thing. Like, but instead, they're gonna like probably not give it a big enough budget and make some HBO Max movie, which is dumb. And I hope that they figure that out.
It's just stupid. Like, I was like, look, man, I like what Marvel's doing because, bro, Ant-Man. Who cares about Ant-Man? I want somebody to raise their hand and tell me how much they care about. Like, what's the last Ant-Man comic you read?
Right. Nobody cares about it. He just shows up in the crossovers and stuff.
But it shows up. Yep, and the film was good. And got a sequel too. That was good.
Somebody was like, "How do we do this?" Paul Rudd, and make it funny. And there you go. Made it.
There you go. And Marvel is much. And we've been talking about this so long. We didn't even talk about Soul, but that's how bad Wonder Woman is. Marvel's approach to female characters, where they strengthen them, and they're cool with taking the criticism of being social justice warriors and all that crap. Because I see it online all the time. Mm-hmm. When they have like the all women scenes, or they make Captain Marvel this super, super duper hero, and everybody's like, oh, they're just, catering to the feminists, or they being social justice warrior. Yeah, whatever, bro. You have to strengthen your female characters, man. There's no way anybody watched Wonder Woman and felt comfortable seeing this person as strong as she was be worried about a dude that she knew was gonna die. She literally knew he was gonna die, like at some point.
Yeah, that like, honestly bugged me when that happened. I was like surprised watching it. I was like, what? Trash. Ugh. And
anyway,
yeah. So. Yeah, I guess didn't like that film, and we'll see what they're doing next because they got big plans apparently. I guess we don't have to spend as much time on Soul. Spent a lot of time on that, but I loved Soul. I thought it was great.
Soul was amazing. Soul was amazing.
Loved it. Loved the message of it. Yep, me too. Second time I watched it, for whatever reason.
Bro, it just hit me. It hit me when he was looking at his life. And he was like, man, I've done like my whole life was nothing. Like, I've done nothing, bro. I start crying.
He was all, because he thought he was going to be all excited. And then he very quickly got to the end of the things in that hall and was like, but what did I do, though? Which was also another layer of the story, which was that everyone doesn't have a predestined purpose. You don't have to try to find it, but which I thought was a really great message. I read some, I don't know if it was The Verge or maybe even Polygon, but they interviewed the person they brought on because I heard that they had the concept for the film before they had the main character or anything. They just knew that they were going to make this movie. They actually thought it was going to be about the Great Beyond and not about the Great Before that they came up with. But they were like, we need a character who is really passionate about something, but and they moved to music, and then they were thinking about rock star, but they were like, that's not very relatable. Like somebody who's like, I want to be rich and famous and an actually huge rock star. It's like, it's not that many of them, and that pursuit is not. Everyone doesn't aim that high usually. And then they were thinking about jazz, and then they were like, that it makes perfect sense because jazz is something that you can kind of excel at locally. It's a smaller scene, and
the name of the film is Soul.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I liked about the interview was like they said as soon as they got to that point, they were like, we need help. Was their words, because they're like, it's Pixar. It's a bunch of probably white people at the top or whatever. They knew that they weren't about to nail that on their own. So they I forget the person that they brought on to help them with this, but he was instrumental in shaping the main character. Apparently, he echoed a lot of that guy's actual personal life and everything as well. He was talking about how he pulled up the shower scene, and he was like, listen, it is 1,000% crucial that he brings up lotion when he gets out of the shower. It's just like stuff like this you need So they had a lot of direction, a lot of help with that, and I'm glad that they,
Line myself up.
yeah,
Somebody, I gotta line myself up.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
oh man.
yeah.
But they said they also
That's true.
established a trust within Pixar of just a ton of black employees that are at Pixar, and they banded them together and let them and ran things by them whenever they were doing stuff to. So I think that's part of why that turned out so well. And yeah, I mean
it was very mature, very very mature.
It's not really a kids movie too much.
Yeah.
The message is.
But my daughter loved it, man. She loved it.
Kids are still gonna like it. But that message, man, that's like us. I'm like, ooh, man, middle-aged dude. It's a movie for middle-aged people. I feel like, I don't know. We're not quite middle-aged, I guess, but you know, getting there. We're adults.
Yeah, I mean, we're middle-aged, Aaron. I'm in my early 30s, man. I'm 32.
Yeah, me too.
I'm getting yeah, bro. We're what's middle age? 40?
I feel like
40.
40 is where they, start saying midlife crisis, right? So I'm gonna call it at 40.
All right. Yeah, yeah. When I'm 40, I'm gonna start wearing the old dude Nike kit. Like the sweatsuit with the matching dad hat with the Air Maxes, all black, trying to look cool. So, Soul was great.
Yeah,
emotional, very emotional. I don't have anything negative to say about Soul. My boy Noveliss is not gonna be happy. He has like a certain issue with it. I understand it, but I wasn't mad at it because they addressed it in the film. I mean, I guess I could bring it up, but you guys should go watch it. Watch his podcast. Watch the Swordcast. Watch the Swordcast and listen to it. But there's this thing with keeping black characters on screen or keeping black characters black on screen. Like there's always been this thing where, like, you watch Princess and the Frog, she spent like 80% of the movie as a frog. Or like on Soul, he spent most of the time as a cat. You know what I'm saying? Like and it was like, and Tina Fey was playing him, and that was like an uncomfortable thing for most people. But what they addressed in the film when she was talking, when 22 was talking, and he was like, "Why do you sound like a middle-aged white woman?" Like that. When I heard that joke, I was like, I'm cool with it. Because it was addressed. Like they addressed it head on. Like, why is this? Because I can make my voice anything I want it to be. I just do, whatever's gonna make you feel, the most comfortable with my emotional aptitude and how I approach things. I'm trying to be annoying. Her whole point was, I'm trying to be the most annoying I can be. And it sounded like a white woman annoys you. So that's what I'm gonna do.
I feel like she was almost kind of like androgynous, honestly. Like you could, no accent. She doesn't have a particularly high female voice. That could have passed as a boy character in a cartoon. It's just kind of blank slate, and I think that's kind of also what was supposed to be the point with those souls, because they weren't souls yet. They didn't have the personality yet. So yeah, and it's contrasting to his character as well. Whereas, I don't know if it sounded like a young black woman would you think, why is she so dumb? Because but I don't know.
It was an interesting thing. Like I said, I didn't mind it. They addressed it head on, and why she was what she was funny.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, trying to be the most annoying thing I could be. She literally said, I'm trying to annoy people the most, and this is what annoys people the most. Me sounding like a sarcastic middle-aged white woman.
Yeah. Had a great rest of the cast too.
Oh, the cast was incredible. Cast was incredible. The barbershop is really what that barbershop scene, man.
Yeah, that was great. I loved it.
That was it.
Yeah, Barber was the one guy, comedian. Who was on Chappelle's Show, a whole bunch of stuff.
That's my Ashley. My Ashley Larry?
The barber in Soul.
I ain't trying to think. Wait a minute, who played that? Who played the barber? You with Google, look it up, man.
It was God, what is this name? Donnell Rawlings.
Yeah, it's Ashley Larry.
And David Diggs was one of the younger kid that was in there, up and coming, because that Hamilton came out and now his career is like
David's the cat with the dreads, right?
Mm-hmm.
He actually is
I'm sure he's a
musician also. He made some music with Michigan's very own the Olympics.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Man, Michigan, man.
Him too, and then they had a lot of like black European comedians.
Yeah.
I don't know, British, I think probably, but they just sounded like English people to us or whatever. But it was actually a lot of black comedians that have been around for a long time. So it was cool. Every turn of that movie, the first time I watched it, I was pulling out my phone to figure out who that voice was. But
yeah, like I said, I didn't mind it. They got no beef for me. No beef for me. They did a good job.
It's a good starting point. It's their first shot at making a black film, really. I feel like so. I think that's good. Hope it's better going forward.
It's probably the blackest. It's one of the blackest films that Disney's really made, because Black Panther was still rooted in like African heritage, not really American black culture.
Yeah, they weren't African Americans.
Yeah, so
the characters.
It was definitely the blackest film I've seen them make. So yes, only one character was, yes. So moving on from that and us dragging out Wonder Woman and taking it out to beat it, because that's what we did do. I want to close this out on a positive note. I don't know how long we've been talking today.
We're at a little over an hour now, but I figured it'll just be a big end of the year episode.
Yeah, that's solid. Okay, so personal best of 2020. Things you loved. I only want things you loved. I don't want things you hated, Aaron. Things you loved, man. Floor is yours, because you're such a positive dude anyway. Give me the things you loved about 2020, man, and where you going in 2021.
Well, I figure we'll take it on categories, and you can toss in on them too. Start with TV, because I didn't do a lot of TV this year. I tried to look. I looked at my watch history on HBO and Netflix and everything, and I was like, man, I did not watch anything. I watched The Mandalorian. I like this comedy group from Australia called Auntie Donna, and they had a comedy series come out on Netflix, and I watched that, and I liked it. And then I guess I watched like My Hero all year, but that's not really a new show. And Attack on Titan just came back, but also not a new show. I didn't do a lot of TV. You watch it? I wanted to watch. I really wanted to watch Watchmen, but I bought the graphic novel and I was going to reread it before I watched it. So I did not get to that on HBO. But I didn't get to what was that one Lovecraftian show? Lovecraft Country. Didn't get to that either. Kind of wanted to watch it though.
Yeah, Lovecraft Country.
But yeah, did you watch any good TV in 2020?
All I watch is anime, man. So I don't know, man. I got every streaming service, and all I watch is anime, bro.
Any good?
Literally, like,
was there any good new anime?
I love Mandalorian season 2, man. I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
I loved it, man. I think that is the best piece of Star Wars content, like, period.
Yeah,
like, and that includes the original trilogy, which you guys love so much, which is weird to me, because the secret to Star Wars movies, I'm gonna let you in on a secret, Aaron. The secret to Star Wars films is that none of them are good. That is the secret. Now, do I like watching them? Yes. Are they good movies? No, man. Stop it. These aren't good films.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's the secret to them. So I don't know why people be acting so high and mighty about the original trilogy. Oh man, Disney's ruining they're ruining something that wasn't good in the first place. Like, what is wrong with y'all, man? It was never good.
Well, it was impressive for the time.
Yeah, I
the things
mean,
that they were doing, but
yeah. Oh, you talking about the first Star? Yeah, like the special effects and all that type of stuff. Yes, from a sci-fi standpoint, yes. Okay. Or what was the storytelling and all that? No, man.
yeah, it was just like a little space adventure.
Yeah, people act like
about it.
People act like they was watching Citizen Kane. Like, oh man, I'm watching some of the greatest cinema. No, bro, no. So that is the secret to Star Wars. But Mandalorian. So new anime.
I don't know nothing about 2020 in anime, man. I don't know about any new shows that came out or nothing. I just know about the ongoing shows.
Let me think what I've been watching. I watched Gaza High School. Gaza High School was a nice little short series. It was dope. I watched one. I want to say it was called like Kaburiki and the Iron Fortress. I'm saying that completely wrong. Somebody please address me in the comments. But I want to say it was like Kaburuki and the Iron Fortress. It was like a short one. It was like that was it. That was it. And it was fire.
That's what the original Attack on Titan studio stopped making Attack on Titan to go make, right?
And it was fire. Let me see what else. Obviously, I've been watching One Piece. We just had manga issue 1000. Man,
where's the anime at?
Incredible, like 956 or something like that. But manga issue 1000. Oda is the GOAT, bro. Do you understand how obscene that is?
When did that start?
He released
90s?
like over 20 years ago. Yeah, over 20 years ago. So you can only put out, if you're putting out one a week, which he does, 52 a year, man. So y'all do the math to get to 1,000. All right. So that is incredible.
And people still like it, and they're not mad about it.
Yep, still top 2 selling manga every month. So incredible.
Yeah.
Old as to go. What else I've been watching? I've been watching Noveliss. That Crunchyroll original show that they came out with.
I feel like I've seen the name.
Yeah, you have, because they've been marketing it, because they made it. It's incredibly generic. You're not missing anything. But I've been watching it just because. I've been watching Attack on Titan season 4. I've been watching Black Clover. I've been reading Records of Ragnarok. They're about to make an anime for it. I've been reading Jujutsu Kaisen. I just started watching it because the anime came out, but I've been reading Jujutsu Kaisen, bro. I'm you know me, man. I'm all in, Aaron. I'm all in.
Yeah, I wish I was in it more. Just haven't been watching. I've been doing too much stuff and haven't been watching stuff, but it's all I can do to keep up with Attack on Titan and My Hero. I guess I won't have to worry about Attack on Titan much longer, but almost over. I'm enjoying it though so far.
Oh yeah, last episode was super dope. The end of it.
I need to watch did one come out like this past week, or are we still at like the one that came out 2 weeks ago?
Did you watch episode 4?
I don't know if I got to 4. I think I only got to 3.
Okay, you need to watch 4, man. It's a big reveal. At the end of the chapter, it's a big reveal. Yeah, so you need to get that in. But what else you got, man? Okay.
Movies.
Shows you've been watching. What's next?
Movies. I guess I just wrote down. I was trying to think of movies that were released this year that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed The Five Bloods. I don't know if you watched that on Netflix.
I did watch Five Bloods. I watched it.
That was godlike. I like Borat 2 a lot. That came out, and that was hilarious.
Now that I did not watch, but I did see that came out.
That was insane. And Hamilton did come out, and I really liked it. I like musicals and Broadway stuff, and that was I was like, all right, yeah, this is all really catchy and all this music is great and all these people performing in this are great. I can't believe it took this long for us normies to be able to see it, but I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, because I think like the tickets were pre-ordered for like a year.
Yeah, and the original, I think the original cast hasn't even been doing it for 3 years now. They were just, there was new cast touring around and doing it, but they filmed this like 4 years ago and they've just been sitting on it. So
well, don't they usually replace Broadway cast like every what is it, like every couple years? Would they just switch people in and out?
I think so. I think that a lot of them want to go on and do new stuff too. So, yeah, that was it. I couldn't think of a lot more. I watched a lot of like older movies and stuff, but I didn't watch a lot of 2020. It was 2020. I mean, movies weren't coming out, so
I mean, and when they did, they bombed.
Yeah, we can rent Tenet. I still kind of want to watch Tenet still, but that only came out to rental like a week ago.
I only need Tenet because I got this LG C10.
Ooh, that'll probably look
that's only yeah, that's all I need. So if you want to come watch it, you're more than welcome. I'm only buying Tenet to turn on Dolby Vision and be like and lean back in the chair. You feel me?
Yeah.
So you just let me know what you want to do, Aaron. I'll make it happen.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate test drive right there.
Oh yeah, that's all I'm getting Tenet for is LG C10. Like that's it.
Yeah.
65 inches, man. We out here in these streets.
Yeah. I guess I really didn't think about that's most of the movies that came out, at least that were like bigger budget. Because that's a little stuff, Netflix movies and stuff came out, but I liked that one movie that came out on Hulu where it was like Groundhog Day, but it was with Andy Samberg and somebody else. But it was kind of sci-fi-y and it wasn't that much like Groundhog Day. I liked that. I forget what it's called, but I think that also came out this year. But yeah, I guess that's 2020 for you. There wasn't really. Next year will probably be insane.
So just so people understand my watch levels, because I'm now 32. I'm washed. I don't care about new music. I don't care about new movies. I don't care about new TV shows, really. I'm washed, bro. I'm completely out of it. I completely understand why they say like hip hop is a young guy sport. Because once you get to a certain age, you're only gonna listen to who you're gonna listen to. You don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And that's far and few between. Because I listen to podcasts.
Me too.
By the way, go listen to Swordcast.
There you
Noveliss, Hero. Go listen to them. Go listen to Horrible Decisions. I don't know if you ever listened to Horrible Decisions, Aaron. But yeah, it might not be your speed, but go check it out. It's funny hearing women talk about their sexcapades with no filter. Like they don't care. You know what I mean? And I respect it. But yeah, man, I'm old. I feel like I get why I used to get in the car with my dad, man. He had jazz on. I was like, man, turn this off, man. But now I'm him.
Right.
I'm listening. I'm rolling around listening to jazz and podcasts. Oh.
Yeah, I'll listen to new releases from artists that I like, but and somebody will put on a song and be like, man, I really like this. It's really good. It's new. And I'll be like, that's a good song. But I don't know if I'm going to go listen to it. I don't know if I'm going to go check out who this artist is and like get the album and listen to it all the way through. And that's time,
Yeah. Man. I don't got time to enjoy this music anymore, man. Like why can't they just keep bringing out Grandmaster Flash, man? Why can't they keep bringing out? That's how I feel. I'm old, but
yeah, because I got music on here and it's just RTJ4. I really like that, but Run the Jewels, I really like that. Honestly, they did like a live, they did like a little concert thing for it, and that was super dope. And it just had a lot of some real powerful tracks and a lot of great features and stuff on it. I liked the new Weeknd album. I'll listen to a new Weeknd album. I liked it. More haunted strip club music.
He still out here trying to sound like Michael Jackson?
Something a little, and I liked his little weird aesthetic that he had going for the whole thing. He made a new look for himself when he marketed it around and did everything. That was
The whole Vampire Weekend thing.
yeah. Sometimes he's beat up, and I don't know. He had little fro. He's wearing those big '80s glasses.
He is on his vampire dark strip club music thing. Yeah, you're definitely right. He's transitioning into that phase of his career, I guess, the haunted strip club transition. But
yeah,
yeah,
that was and then I listened to I did discover Dance Gavin Dance this year, so it's similar to
wow.
me not finding new artists all the time. I got tired of listening to Coheed and Cambria nonstop, and then I found Dance Gavin Dance, and I did the exact same thing, and I just listened to them over and over.
I feel like I've heard all three Justins talk about Dance Gavin Dance.
They were all already fans of him.
4 Justins, but the 4th Justin is just like off the grid. When the last time you seen Slantic?
It's been a little while. I don't know. Well, maybe he went off the grid off the Facebook grid.
Yeah, I'm fine Slantic. But Summers, Durash. Wait a minute, what's the other Justin's last name? Whatever. The one that works at Apple.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one.
And Anthony Bostic agrees with your podcast point. Said that they are dope and better than music sometimes. I need I just can't put on music and do chores or drive. I just fall asleep.
It's because we're old, bro. like when you get older and you become more nuanced in things, and you have to go to work, you have opinions, you have to pay bills. You want to listen to people talk about things that, I don't know, maybe matter a little bit. I think podcasts kind of give you the ability to feel like you're talking to people. It's weird. You listen to them talk and you're like, I agree with that, or I don't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels that social need you have, because you don't get to have it with your friends, because you only get to see them once a month.
Right.
Because everybody has to work.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. And you're learning something. It's it feels like you're being more productive with your time. Like if I can listen to a podcast and drive, I'd rather do that than listen to music, because music, I'm just like, I can listen to music. I heard it before. I don't know. I need to hear something new.
Anymore. And it's crazy, because I'll just be like, man.
The only reason I started listening to music more this year was because of my job, and I had to do a lot of programming, and I can program faster if I put on something that gets me in the zone, and I can become hyper focused on what I'm doing and all jazzed up on music. But I can't do that with the podcast as well, because then I can't it's too much brain power to focus on both. So that's the only reason why I started listening to some more music. But that's the only time I listen to music, is when I would program. Otherwise, I'm listening to podcasts or YouTube videos. So yeah, yep. So yeah, I don't know too much about the world of music in 2020, but there was a couple things I liked. Video games, that's something we do make some time for still.
Oh yeah, now that we can talk about. You know what I'm talking about? But 2020 was an amazing year for, I like to call them, the third person story simulator. Yes, is it like a dig? Yes, it is. Because I remember a couple years ago when first person shooters were the rage, and everybody was making first person shooter. Literally, you had BioShock, you had Halo, you had Killzone, you had Black, you had I don't know, I could just name first person shooters out the wazoo. Call of Duty, they brought back Medal of Honor.
Yep, everyone wanted to be Halo, and then everyone wanted to be Call of Duty.
So now Sony, who owned 2020, I think the PlayStation 4 is, a lot of people disagree with this. I've had legitimate arguments with this. Because of the library of games, I think it's the greatest console ever. And there will be obvious Nintendo fans that will argue with me, the Super Nintendo and whatever. But I think the success in the library made the PS4 the greatest console ever. And
yeah, because if you're gonna go, I mean, Nintendo is Nintendo, but the quantity is never gonna be there on a Nintendo console because they have to make all the games.
yeah, it just doesn't match. I think the library and the success, because you got to have both, made the PS4 the greatest console ever. And what happened is Sony kind of figured out what they make. Because for years, remember, I would talk to you about this. Sony doesn't have any mascot. Like, they don't have anything that makes you say, go buy. Like, there's no one game that they can just put out and say, go buy a PlayStation. Right? They don't have a Mario. Nintendo can just walk out of the blue and say, hey, we got this Mario game. And everybody's going to be like, well, I guess I got to go to the store. Yeah, and they can do that. And I think Sony's getting closer to that now. Because I don't think Kratos is a real mascot. Like, Kratos is like super violent. He's not really a mascot. They haven't found it yet, but it's coming. But what they did find is the style of games that they need to make to find that mascot. And honestly, depending on what they do with what's the name of that game? With the dinosaurs, with the robot dinosaurs.
Horizon. Depending on what they do with Horizon, I think they may be the first of the big three to have a female lead mascot. It's true, because they're doing big things with that game.
Yes, I think that game could be the one. I think they could do something with her. But 2020, man, video games, we're pretty much talking about Sony. It's all Sony. Like, I can't think of anything anybody made that was not Sony that's worth us talking about. That is not the real game of the year, which didn't win it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, looking at my personal list of things that did come out this year, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, third party.
Yep.
Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Sony exclusive for now, but
it's Sony.
I hope not for too much longer, because I need that game to get updated. And Jedi Fallen Order came out in like end of November last year or whatever, but I played it at the beginning of this year. And I really like that game, and I'm looking forward to them making another one. So I feel like that's the newer stuff I played. I played Fall Guys. I thought that was, it got old for a lot of people, but I still think that Fall Guys was a really standout 2020 thing, where somebody made a battle royale that wasn't drop a bunch of people into a squad-based shooter. And then of course, Animal Crossing was great. Such a solid release from Nintendo.
And it really should have won Game of the Year, and it didn't. And I've said that, I'm on record that I think Animal Crossing was really the Game of the Year, but it's 2020. It's pretty much all Sony.
You play anything else? You play any non-2020 things this year?
I mean, I played Halo 5. I played Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, I did. I mean, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I completed all 3 of those games. Took 2-3 months out of my year. So I'm like, man, what did I play? I was like, I guess I played these, and then I beat Final Fantasy 15 at the beginning of the year, which I was a little pleasantly surprised with, but it was still not amazing. Played Link Between Worlds, 3DS Zelda game. I loved it. It was amazing. I just completed Majora's Mask 3D.
Did you play Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah.
Why'd you waste your time?
I thought it was interesting. I did the whole thing though, right? I watched the movie. I watched the little anime intro things, which was weird. The movie provided cool context, and then it was obvious that the game was made without knowledge of the movie, which I was disappointed in. But
Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy period, I feel like they need to figure out what they want to be. I think they're in the scope of the RPG landscape. Like the Western RPG has become the quintessential RPG now, like the Western style RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that Eastern RPGs, you can keep the dynamic and the tropes and the ambiance and the culture, that can all stay the same. But as far as how the game plays, Western RPGs are where it's at, right?
Mm-hmm.
They need to figure out what they want to do, because I feel like they keep trying to stay between both worlds, like where they're like, all right, we're gonna make it more action oriented, but it's still turn based.
Yeah,
like
Final Fantasy 15's battle system too was like, it had so many extraneous features that half the people I talked to didn't know how to even use the whole battle system. They just made it through by doing what they understood. And I was like, you're supposed to do like these weird chain things all the time, and you can like do all this other stuff, and like it was just too much, and they didn't teach it well. Because it looked like a game you were familiar with, but then it didn't truly play like it, and then you tried to make it play like you thought it should play.
If it made it an RPG, bro, it'd be fine.
Yeah, and that's where I'm hopeful. I watched a pretty long video that traced Final Fantasy's fall back to Advent Children. And they were like, this is when Tetsuya Nomura tried to make Final Fantasy about this cool fashiony thing where you can, and they were making all these products, and you could get like a cologne and stuff like that, and they've been making products like that for everything since that came out. Which they went to 13, which was similar, kind of the character design and everything. And then versus 13, which died and came back to life, and then it was 15, and I think that 16 is I'm looking forward to 16, because I think that's a good sign that they're saying, let's give it to some people who love Final Fantasy and just let them do their thing and not let Tetsuya Nomura have his hands all in it.
What that also means to me is, though, they just need to pick a side. They need to make a decision. And if they want to be a turn-based RPG, then just stay as a turn-based RPG, man.
Yeah, just make one. That's good. People still like those.
Yeah, make one. But if you want to go to action because you want to bring in the Western fan base, which is really what it's about, because we buy more video games than the East now. Mm-hmm. And that's always really been the thing, as you've seen everybody start to transition, that Japan's like a huge part of the gaming community, but there's a finite amount of people that you're going to reach, unless your name is Nintendo, apparently, because they're still selling 230,000 systems a month in Japan, which is ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
That it's like, look, man, we're gonna sell tens of millions over here in Europe and the United States, or we're gonna sell 8 million here in Japan. Mm-hmm. Where are we selling this game? Like, let's make a decision.
Yeah.
and that's where I think that the problem is. They just needed to say, hey, man, forget it, man. Let's just go all in on this action. If we wanted to be all actiony and had a screen filled up with data and lighting effects and swords and all that, let's just go all the way in and let's just see how it works out for us. Well, I'm like,
they're
just
doing
figure it out.
They hired, they poached a bunch of Devil May Cry 5 people to make 16 with them. So I think it's going to be a test.
And S ratings.
I'm down with it. I like Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry 5.
I'm glad I waited. Holy smokes, I want to play that PS5 version.
Oh yeah. 120 frames a second, bro.
Yeah.
Turn the ray tracing off.
I don't know if I can get ray tracing on 60. I'll settle for that. I'm glad I waited on Spider-Man too. They got a 60 frames per second ray tracing mode now. And
with the hybrid 4K. And you know what? Maybe we can talk about that as my last thing for 2020. The death of native 4K. And hopefully people understand. You do not need, I keep saying this, you do not need native 4K. It is more trouble than what it is worth. It actually hinders your game's performance. Mm-hmm. It hinders your game's performance. You do not need, nor do you need to think that you want native 4K to make you feel good about your console purchase or your PC purchase, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop arguing online about native 4K. You do not need it.
Yeah, I
The
don't care. If they're ever like, it's got native 4K, I'm like, okay, but is it 30 FPS? Because then I don't care. Is it, is there no ray tracing because it was native 4K? Like,
you need it. Like, so like the one thing about 2020 that I think that's been really good is that gamers are starting to become more educated. So you're starting to see more information out there for you to go learn things about how games are being made. Right. So when you start looking at certain techniques and you're like, well, dang, like I really don't need native 4K. That's completely pointless. They're doing their best to take things out of native. Like when I was looking at like variable rate shading, right? Literally the whole technique is based around taking things that you do not see, putting them in a lower resolution, and then focusing purely on the things you need to focus on and putting those in a high resolution. So that way they can increase game's performance. And I'm sitting there like, well, dang, that's smart. Well, why wouldn't you do this all the time? And they're like, because if we do things and not native 4K, Chris, you guys will tell us that it's not good.
Yeah, which, I hope we're getting past that. Digital Foundry compared the performance and the quality versus the performance RT and both Spider-Man games and the remastered and Miles Morales, and they were like, this new performance RT is how everyone should play this game. They were like because frame rate and ray tracing are both more important than native 4K. Like ray tracing is an actual huge step up in lighting for video games, and especially in the Spider-Man games, you're swinging around New York and all the buildings have made of glass and they reflect things, and the difference when you turn ray tracing on in those games is insane. So you can get both. They made some they were going through the little concessions they had to make to get it to work, but by and large it still looks great, has ray tracing, and it runs at 60 FPS, and Spider-Man just plays better, way better at 60 FPS. I mean, it's all about swinging and looking stylish. Like,
and if you told people that the games weren't native 4K, they wouldn't know the difference anyway. If I went to half these people, this game's in 4K and this one's not, they wouldn't know. So I'm glad that that's starting to become less of a thing. And that's my other positive for 2020, that the community is starting to become more educated on the things that they're partaking in. And that's a good thing. Now, maybe if we could get the YouTube toxic council community in order, then things are really going the right path. Because right now, that is a joke.
Yeah. That is pretty wild, and it's like I hope that it just starts settling down once everybody gets their consoles, once everybody just starts focusing on you doing themselves, do you and play your games on your system and be happy. We don't need to argue about this anymore. Like, hopefully we're about to get there, but
probably never.
Well, before I do my personal 2020 reflection, I guess I did write a little rundown of the year. I guess it's stuff that we ended up covering, but I was just trying to think of the bigger things that happened. But we talked a little bit before, but I was like, man, for me, Smash community got totally upended this year. Bunch of not fiasco, that's not the right word, but I mean, tons of allegations came out, and they were good allegations, and they buried like a percentage of every Smash Ultimate Pro, which is crazy, but needed to happen. Dr. Disrespect got banned this year, moved to YouTube Gaming, kind of on the up. That's still a thing that no one knows why he got banned, that Twitch still will not say why or tell him why he got banned, which is crazy. Quibi came and went this year. They really launched it, and it really died.
I can't believe that was a thing.
Yeah. Stadia was this year, and that launched, and the first commercial game streaming product that was launched, and didn't seem to take off like they thought maybe it would. But of course, Xbox Game Pass is coming in. And that's hopefully going to be a bit better. But that looks like that's going to be the story of 2021, I think.
I think once 5G is like really, really a thing.
Even I think some of their advancements that they would always talk about, like predicting your inputs for certain games to further lower input latency. I feel like a lot of that stuff hasn't actually come to fruition yet, and maybe they'll figure some of that stuff out. So we'll see. All right, I think that the RTX 30 series was a big leap forward for PC gaming, at least, but it was really NVIDIA bringing machine learning to video game graphics and proving that if you don't have this in the future, you're not even going to be able to compete.
And that is, the ascension of AMD, I think that sums that up. AMD used to be a joke, Aaron. AMD used to be a joke. Look at them.
And it's made NVIDIA step their game up, I guess. But right now, AMD again cannot compete. They just came out with a new card that was like pretty priced competitively. But I looked at reviews and they were like, this, technically similar performance, but it doesn't have these machine learning features that even some lower level NVIDIA cards have. And because of that, they just couldn't even recommend it. It's like the stuff that NVIDIA is doing is too crazy right now.
No, and that's why I agree with you there, because I felt like AMD's ascension led to NVIDIA basically saying, all right, you know what? Because there's been a battle between them. Remember, it used to be AMD and Intel, but Intel was always like just head and shoulder. For some reason, Intel always just had this superiority thing. And maybe it's because AMD never really invested.
So. Well, and that's when they were just both CPU makers.
Yeah.
But then did you turn me up in your headphones?
What, are you too loud?
I'm hearing myself a little bit.
Are you?
But it used to be AMD Intel just doing processors, but then Intel didn't buy NVIDIA, but NVIDIA became like, all of our stuff works better with Intel. And then AMD bought ATI, who was NVIDIA's biggest competitor. And then it became just AMD video cards.
Yeah. But I think their ascension had pushed NVIDIA to really say, all right, bro, F you. We about to really go to the next level. Because now I see them actively competing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very good for PC gaming.
Something happened to NVIDIA too, because they're huge now. Their stock exploded. Didn't they buy Snapdragon or someone? Like they bought a chip manufacturer.
Because what I was gonna say is I thought NVIDIA was doing a lot of the phone stuff. And that's really where they started making a lot of their money. I thought they were doing phone stuff.
They just bought the person who does the phone stuff. Acquired ARM, which is insane, because ARM is like they acquired them for $40 billion. I don't even know where they got $40 billion from, but they acquired ARM, which is insane.
NVIDIA got 40 bill, or they got 40 bill lying around. They got that.
So
got that.
I mean, that was crazy. NVIDIA's rise this year was pretty insane, and the RTX 30 series is great. Looking forward to the next series, because maybe I'll get in on the next round, because I got an RTX 20 series and I'm not about to update that early. But we saw Fortnite is no longer on mobile platforms. That's crazy. They started a war with Apple and Google.
I think that was Epic just trying to see if they can get away with it to make a little bit more money, because you got to get that 5%, man. You know, it's all about that 5%, Aaron.
Yeah, I had to Google that recently, because I was like, is it really still not on mobile? And yep, it's not on there anymore, which is nuts. But so that was, big story. Next gen coming out, obviously. We kind of talked about it a little bit already, but that was big. And that Warner deal, forcing movies over to HBO Max, I think we haven't heard the end of that one yet. Legendary Pictures sounds like they were not too excited about that, but There's 2020, 2020 entertainment. A lot of the big stories, I guess. I don't know if you remember anything else, but
in 2020, man. I mean, besides like yeah, we only talking about good stuff. So, I guess new console launches, man. I guess
that was it. That was the story.
and that's always a good thing, man. New console launches. Um, spending time with family, catching up on gaming, getting, for me personally, getting my OLED, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Here's
like life is good.
Here's what I
Starting a
prepared.
podcast. Starting a podcast,
oh yes,
man.
definitely as well.
Yeah, 2020, man. Starting a podcast, man. Here.
I prepared this because this is what this is honestly what I spent too much time on this year. Action figures. Look at this. I was like, let me take pictures of everything I bought in 2020, and I was like, this is it. This is getting to be a little too much.
And posing the hell out of them.
Got the full team this year. Came out. Power Rangers. So got the full squad. White Ranger, Zeo Black. And then I just started Googling things that I like and what figures were out there for them. And I just started I got Conan, Cowboy, Spike Spiegel, Cowboy Bebop. More Power Rangers villains.
Man, y'all see my boy Aaron posing the hell out of these action figures. The epic poses, man.
They got Alpha Zordon. Bunch of the comic book characters from Power Rangers. Psycho Rangers. I'd like pose these things and I look at the pictures they put on the box and I'm like, I could be doing a way better job than these people, but
see, man. I told y'all, man. Posing the hell out of them.
And then, you know what? That's why I don't even open them because I go, that's going to take me a while to pose that. I don't even want to get into that right now. But I got unopened figures still. Got the Zeo squad. The Green Ranger just came out. Got a Lord Zed putty. A couple more Detective Conan characters because I was like, man, why not? I might as well just get them while they're still available and they don't cost a lot of money. Just got my...
Man, I wanted to get into Gundams, man, but those things are crazy expensive.
And a lot of them, they send around those models too. And I'm like, I'm not about to build and paint anything.
Yeah, the big Gundams. Yeah. And I was like, bro, these things are humongous. I was like, and this thing costs like $300, bro. I was like, what am I going to do with this? It looks so cool though. Like I was like, especially like the Gundam wing ones, the ones that transform.
Yeah, they're great.
Man, man, I want this.
Yeah, I got this Gurren Lagann forever ago. But yeah, I was like, there are Gurren Lagann kits as well. And I'm like, I'm not doing a kit, but I found this old Revoltech figure and I got a decent deal on it. That's my AEW wrestling figures. I haven't even opened a single one of them. I got a full-size ring. I got I think 5 or 6 figures of characters right now. I haven't opened it. Honestly, I hope that within those boxes is my complete order. I don't even know because I haven't opened the box to check. But I'm like, it's going to be too much. I don't want to set it up. Oh, bought these. Got 2 helmets. Got the Dragon Dagger. Morpher. With coins in it. Depending on which coin you put in it, changes colors. It says different Ranger names. My brother got me this for Christmas. Pretty dope. Skyward Sword Figma. I bought that Link's Awakening thing. I got that Low Triforce. I got my brother's old Ocarina of Time figures. I got the Figma Link Between Worlds Link.
Is that the flute?
Yeah, I've had that for a while. They made like a toy Ocarina of Time, and when you touch it, it plays the actual notes from the N64 game. Like it sounds like the 64 game. It's not a real
You got the directional buttons on it?
Yep. This sword lights up. And then there's the Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary Collector's Edition thing. But bought the Samus arm for no reason. It was at GameStop, so it was like $20. I was like, I'll drive out there and do a pickup order on a Samus arm. Why not? Gun arm.
You ever use it?
I don't know. I took some dumb pictures with it, but it turns on too. It turns on and it has a trigger on the inside and it makes noises.
Reminds me of Mega Ran. He got the Buster arm. He got the he got the Buster arm that he be on stage with.
Those are cool. This is similar. You can hold the thing and do a charge shot with it and stuff. Yeah, those Buster arms are nice though. I see. My brother got me the Odyssey hat for Christmas. He was like, "This sounds like something you would want." I was like, "Yep, I'm cool with having that." Pokemon Trainer Red, got that Game and Watch thing.
Trainer Red. Why didn't they just name him Ash, man?
It's a different character. This is the OG from the video game.
And they should have just named him Ash. I don't know why they never just put Ash in the game. Like, I'm like, bro, like he was right there for the taking. Just put him in the game.
That's what half the kids named him when they got the game.
Yeah, because the other guy, his rival, looked just like Gary.
Yeah, they're based off of the same characters, but I don't know why they were so intent on keeping them separate. But I guess Ash looks a little different, but whatever. And then I got these Celeste dolls from my girlfriend. It was supposed to be a Christmas present last year, but they took forever to come. Oh, and I bought that little Mario Odyssey figures and the World of Nintendo cheesy Samus that you can get at Target, and this sick Beautiful Joe statue from GameStop. They did a run of these statues that were getting clearanced because they made a Beautiful Joe statue in the year 2020 for whatever reason. But I was like, I'll get it. I like Beautiful Joe.
You think they're ever gonna make another one? I think they were overrating. Cause like, did they put Beautiful Joe in Smash? Did they end up putting him in?
No, but he was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
I remember that.
They brought him back for that. He was old already then, really. So yeah, I was like, I don't know, that's weird. Capcom has a weird relationship with those characters that this is the Platinum Studios guy that made Beautiful Joe and Okami.
Yeah.
They'll re-release the hell out of Okami, man. But they won't make a new one.
Okami was so.
Yeah, those were so great. I do hope that they figure out something to do.
Remember those games those were supposed to be the big three that was only supposed to come in the GameCube.
Yeah,
remember that?
Yep.
And they ended up going to other consoles, but it was so Resident Evil 4, Okami, and Beautiful Joe.
And they made the well, no, Okami was just PS2. That only came out on PS2. The GameCube one was Beautiful Joe, Resident Evil 4, this weird Phoenix game that never came out, and then also PN number 3 was the other.
I thought Okami was on that list, even though it ended up coming out on PS2 and PS2 only.
No, that was just.
I remember them hyping up like the Platinum releases.
It was like it was like Capcom games, but Okami was just a Clover Studios game that they made after.
Because they weren't Platinum yet.
Yeah,
they weren't Platinum.
It was a Capcom studio.
They were just Clover,
and they just jetted. But yeah, I was one of the lucky few to get these enamel pins for Mario 35 because it was another one of those. The whole store exploded when they went live because you could get it for free if you paid $5 shipping, and the whole site just broke. And when it came back, the people who got it, and everyone else was out of luck. I got these Kingdom Hearts figures. I like them. I was like, this is when I really liked Kingdom Hearts. I'm gonna get the Kingdom Hearts 1, some statues of them. They look nice, and I will cherish my memories from that time and from no further in the series. And I bought you could get a big old foam keyblade at GameStop too, pretty cheap. I was like, looks like a normal.
Did you get it though?
Oh, I did. I just kept going on GameStop.com and searching for pickup, and I was driving out to random GameStops doing pickup orders that just happened to have these things sitting in the back room or whatever. And I think that's everything. I got all that crap in 2020. But hopefully slowing down a little bit more now that I caught up on buying old things from stuff that I like. But that's what I did in 2020. I did that, and I spent 2 months building this set.
Aaron, you're never caught up. Didn't you? Aren't you still playing through your PS2 collection that you didn't finish?
I mean, I'm not gonna finish the PS2 one. Half the games on that, they got a PS3 port, and then they got a PS4 remaster, and then they got it
that you still haven't played.
Yeah, I still haven't played.
Exactly. So
I did play God of War 1 and 2, and 3.
Oh, finally.
So I did play those.
Thanks.
I'm still waiting to play God of War 4 because I'm really worried about why they're not saying anything about PS5 and God of War and why they haven't updated it or done anything.
Well, I thought they did. Didn't they push out the 60 frames per second update?
They still have not said a single word. So that means a remaster's coming. And
that's so garbage if they do that.
Yeah.
That's so trash.
I feel like that's got to be it. There's no other reason why they'd be so tight-lipped.
There's no reason for these games not to just be backwards compatible. They don't need to do remasters for them. That is stupid.
Because if I'm going to play it, I'm going to put in the disc and I'm going to not update it. Because if I do that, I can play it in 4K 60.
Unless they add ray tracing. Now, if they want to add ray tracing to God of War, then be my guess.
And that's my thing is like, maybe they'll do a real remaster that will be worth it. But then I want to play that one. I don't want to play the old one. So I'm like, I'm going to play Spider-Man first. And then maybe they'll have some news on God of War by then. But,
all right. Well, guys, you know how we do. We sat and rambled, talked to you for over an hour.
Yeah, this is like an old episode where we
where we just talk. But I'm down for talking because hold on. Oh, okay, that's what I hear. I hear that greatness. Okay. I'm over here like, wait, where's that coming from? I forgot Aaron has complete control over the music. So, but hey, yo, this record right here is from my boy Knobs' new project, Sage of the Season. It's called Open Fire. Y'all should definitely go support that. It's on Noveliss.com, NovelissBandcamp.com, all that good stuff. But go check that out. We finally got the podcast out, so you can check it out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. What's the other ones? What's the ones?
Spotify.
What's the other ones, Aaron?
There's some other couple weird ones that I don't even know what they are. Maybe you'll find them on there, but I feel like most people are using Apple, Google, or Spotify these days.
YouTube, of course. We're no longer getting our songs claimed because we worked it out with the public. Now we use the music and we ain't got to worry about like getting it snatched off of YouTube. So you'll go check it out on YouTube. Yeah, man. I think we had a nice, fun wrap up for the holidays, man. You guys have a good time with your families. Spend New Year's safe, COVID free. Come on, man. COVID free. Don't run around kissing people on New Year's, man. Do not do that this year.
Yeah, you don't got it yet. You're almost there. So
it's not the year. But
and you know what, real quick, guys. I will say I didn't go through 2020. Rest in peace, Brody Lee. Passed away this week, 41 years old, wrestler in AEW. That was real sad. Rest in peace, Alex Trebek. Lost Alex Trebek this year. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. That one hit me pretty hard. And rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Passed away this year, which was insane. So
Kobe, my God, man. I don't even like even doing that one, man.
Yeah.
Kobe's my guy. I feel like I grew up with Kobe.
Yeah. X on 2020. Get it out of here.
Yeah, man. 2020 got to go, man. So we will see you guys technically, man, next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
See you guys in 2021, man.
2021.
But
finally.
we will do a show first week of January, Aaron, guaranteed. And hopefully we got some big news and we're not just I don't know, just talking how we are.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, I'm gonna drop the gate.
Yeah, man. Got to drop the gate, man. Hey, yeah, is that gonna be our catchphrase, man? Is it gonna be, hey, with that, we're gonna drop the gate?
I might, you know what? I think I need to get a sound clip of Justin, of Jay yelling it from the back room or something like that. And then
he would do it. Drop the gate. I remember that. Yeah, drop the gate. Hey, Jay was so ready to get customers out, like, not out the store, but he was definitely ready to stop y'all from coming in, bro. When that clock hit, like,
if it was two people left in the store, it was like drop it at 8:50. Yeah, drop it early, or not even all the way. We would just drop it and let it hang, and then we'll let you out. just to discourage people from coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, because you was always have the clown that would lift the gate. Like, bro, what are you doing? What is he doing? But but yeah, man, much love, man. This is what was this, episode 3? Episode 3? This is episode 3. See you guys next year. Peace out.
Indeed.
Hey man, where's the music go, man? Where'd the music go, man? What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Come on, man. Drop the gate, man.
I'll get it back on here. All right. Peace, y'all. See you in 2021.
Hero. Yo, check it. Winter in Michigan. Started writing my letter to Santa, but never finished it. Inclement weather shall bring us closer together. Put the tree up in November. Seems we've been waiting forever. I can hardly wait. I count the days in the ugliest sweaters back. Then it was pajamas. The spirit never abandoned. No matter the number, count every blessing. It's evident. Joy to the world and peace is the only present then. Follow me, I conquer the biggest hills when I'm sledding. Once the snow is good for packing, I'm loaded up every second. Freezing, but it's all for the love of the season. Hey yo, silver bells ringing, lights visible in the evening. Hey yo, we staying warm by this open fire. Here's to the season and hoping you find your reason. Although it's been said many times, many ways, embrace each other today. The spirit is on the way. Hey yo, we staying warm by this open fire. Here's to the season and hoping you find your reason.